So many people start their business without a plan or a strategy in place. A lot of these businesses end up not lasting very long, failing, and becoming unsuccessful. Right now, there are so many people starting their own businesses. People are leaving their careers, all wanting to be a part of the entrepreneurial journey. So many have left that they're actually calling it the Great Resignation. Today, we're going to talk about what that means for you and your business, because the difference maker in your success is always going to be your strategy. Let's get started. Cue the intro. Hello, I'm Tiffany Hambacher, the CEO of Bottcher Business Management Agency. In April 2021, I was a part of the Great Resignation. I left the corporate space after a decade as a finance and technology executive. I completed my Master's of Business Administration from the University of Bradford. And you may ask, what does that have to do with becoming successful in your business? Everything. The organization I was a part of was a service-based business, and in the 9 years that I was with them, we scaled it from nothing to $15 million annual revenue. Service businesses are unique, and ultimately when it comes to building a service-based business, it doesn't really matter what the service is. Every service business goes through a very similar customer journey. Your customer must be aware you exist. Your customer must be excited about what you offer. This is the sales and marketing piece. Then you need to be able to provide the service you offered. You must be able to provide an amazing experience. This is the operational piece of your business. Then you must be able to continue to repeat this cycle predictably and sustainably. This is the building a business piece. And without it, you don't really need the accounting and finance piece. Tying all of these pieces together, seeing how the marketing, operations, and accounting all tie together for a service business is the specialty of my agency, and it is something I am very passionate about. The other piece about service-based businesses is that they are 100% built on client experience. You must be able to deliver the amazing experience. So we're going to start breaking down the goals and success strategy. It's really important to start with a 30,000-foot view. It's really easy to get tied into thinking about, hey, how am I actually going to make this happen? Rather than seeing the big picture, you start seeing obstacles. And when you were thinking about all the pieces that you need to actually do to make it happen, you kind of get lost. So first, we need to start thinking about that from the 30,000-foot view. What are you actually trying to accomplish? If we go to our overarching objective, we say, okay, we want to create that amazing client experience. This is a non-negotiable. Then, as the second part of the objective, we want to be able to create sustainable, repeatable, predictable revenue. That's a mouthful. You have to be able to take those two pieces and build a plan that leads to them. This is really the gold at the end of the rainbow. So now that we've established what the gold at the end of the rainbow looks like, then we actually have to break it down into manageable, actionable steps. It's really important to add a timeline to each of these steps because you absolutely want to know if you are on track the whole way through the process. You need to be able to make minor course corrections as you're going through your journey. And that way, we actually know exactly where the journey is supposed to go. If we say, I need to have 5 of something done in May, I have 15 of something done in July, 30 in September, 40 in December. Now it's July and you only have 7 done. You are no longer on the path that you know leads to success. You're not on your way to the gold. Yes, you're going to have flexibility. Things are going to come up. 100% they are. You need to be able to say, though, hey, I'm off target. What am I going to do about it? And that is where the business strategy comes in. When you get to July 7th, you are off target, you have a few choices to make. Number one, you can say, hey, this is the plan. It's no longer realistic. This is not working. I need to sit down, reevaluate, figure out a new plan, and get back to going after it. Number two, you could say, well, this might be harder than I thought, but if I do A, B, C, I can still get to my end goal. I can alter the action plan a little. Or number three, you can say, holy cow, I am not doing what I need to do. I need to step up. I need to make it happen. If all of a sudden, maybe you have a family member fall ill. I mean, this can happen, especially in today's day and age. So you might say, wow, it's not working. I need to make a slight adjustment here. I need to reframe the expectations. I need to create a new plan. That's okay. That is not failing. When you are managing your business, when you are making decisions, conscious decisions, then it's realizing that this is the action. This is the plan. This is the action. This is the plan. If you just say, I want to get to 40 by December, and you show up in December with only 12 done, that's not managing your business. That is not managing the process. So today we're really going to talk about the steps of how you're going to break down your overarching goals into manageable, actionable steps that can lead to success every single time. Okay, so breaking things down. Right now is one of my favorite times of the year. It's new, the year has all sorts of opportunities. I want you to envision yourself at a New Year's party. It's almost 2023, and I want you to think, what does success look like? Now, if you've been on any kind of social media around New Year's for the last several years, you will see so many posts. Goodbye 2020, goodbye 2019, good riddance. What a crappy year. I hope the next one is better. It's actually a little bit scary. People are wishing years away. I don't know if it's just me, but the years are already flying by. We only have so many years. There's only so many New Year's Eves. And here we are just rushing through them, wishing the time away. It's like, hold the phone. What does success look like? What do you need to have accomplished in your business as you're getting ready to celebrate the end of the year? What needs to happen between now and then to be able to reflect back and think, what a year? Now, I get it. There's a lot going on in the world right now. But at this point, we don't know when things are going to return to normal. We don't even really know what normal is. This is the life we have. So let's not go through any more of these life milestones, New Year's Eves, and wish the time away. Instead, think of the moment now and decide, what do you need to do in order to reflect back and think, this was a successful year? I would encourage you to go through this with all parts of your life, not just your business. But obviously today, we're just going to focus talking about business. So it's taking that moment to say, what would mean success to me? And that is going to be different for every single person. What is successful to me, or you, or your friends, it's all different. And no one is wrong. But you need to take that vision of what success is going to be, combine that with the fact that we need to be able to create an amazing customer experience, and we need to create that sustainable, repeatable, predictable revenue. One of the other unique pieces to creating a service-based business is really focusing on what are the resources that it takes in order to provide your service. You need to factor in your time, your equipment, your systems and process, your payment processing fees. All of these different pieces really assemble to create part of your service. And so while it might be easier when it's something more tangible like a product, something like a t-shirt, you could say, I'm going to take cotton, I'm going to turn it into a t-shirt, maybe I'm going to put some kind of print on the front, and then I'm going to sell it. Thinking of that process, you're thinking about how much cotton am I going to need? How much time is it going to take someone to sew it into the shirt? Then it moves down the process. You need to break your service into those same pieces and phases because those resources are not infinite. And when we're building out the strategy and the plan, if we're going to say, in order to get to what I vision as success, I need to book this many of the service, the next question becomes, do you have enough resources to do that? If not, are you in the position to get them? Certain things, especially in today's day and age, supply chain issues are very common. And so as you're continuing to build your business and create strategies and outlines, you don't want to set yourself up for failure. If you say, well, I really only have half of what I need, the question is, where do you get it? Do you have the funds to invest in it? If you say, okay, well, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to start small. And then I'm going to ramp it up quickly. And as I ramp it up, then I can afford, the equipment that I need to continue to grow. Okay. When you have the funds, will you have enough time to get them? So this is really, as much as the plan and the strategy comes down to creating simple, actionable steps, you need to take the time as you're building the plan to really put the thought in. The steps that you take at the planning phase really affect the journey throughout. It's the old saying, measure twice, cut once. If you take the time to really think through each step. Okay, so talking about creating that repeatable, sustainable, predictable revenue. What does that mean? When you're running a business and you're talking about goals and strategy and planning, you're wanting to create a business that is predictable. And what I mean by that is when you know what it takes to grow and it starts to become a process and not, this kind of like, well, I did a couple things and I got a call. Okay. Where did the person come from? Was this someone that saw and has been following you on Instagram? Was this a person who saw an ad somewhere? Was this a recommendation from your Aunt Sally? Was this a recommendation from a previous client? As you're starting and continuing to grow and we're looking at, strategic decisions, data is essential. When you have data about your business, it breeds confidence. When you have data that says this is the correct decision, you feel significantly more confident as you make those decisions. Instead of being like, I think, I feel like, instead you say, this is the way, this is the information. Instead of saying, I think and I'm going to try, you instead have data that says and confirms the decisions you're making are correct. And so it's important when we're looking at building that sustainable revenue that you are factoring in everything it takes to make a sale. Thinking about the cost of your personal time, if you're using resources that are not necessarily business resources, you need to be factoring that in. There's cost to time, there's cost to resources. And so when we're talking about building sustainability, you're needing to factor everything, all of your expenses, all of your time, and make sure that the business you're building is sustainable. That if someone else came to you and said, what does it take to make this happen, that you know exactly what that is. That's the sustainability part. Then we talk about repeatability. Okay. How is your business growing? If you are purely working off of referrals, that is a tough business to grow. Because when you want to grow, what do you do more of? You offer a great experience. That experience leads to someone talking about it, sharing information about it. Then someone sees that and then they book. That's great. That says that you're doing something right. But if you want to turn the tap on and grow like crazy all of a sudden, you're relying on someone else doing something. That is really tough to create a repeating cycle on a speed that you determine. In the contrast, if you are working on a specific marketing strategy and you say, whether that's ads or specific social media, it just really comes down to knowing where your leads are coming from and what it takes to get them. If you know, and paid traffic is easier to calculate in terms of data. But it doesn't all have to be paid. There's tons of ways to do it. It just comes down to keeping track of your data. So as an example, if you think about saying, okay, well, if I invest $20 into ads, say Google Ads, I invest $20 into Google Ads, and in exchange, I will get 3 phone calls. And of 3 phone calls, I'm going to get 1 booking. Now first, in order to do that, to know what those numbers are, you need to do something for a while. That's how you get the predictable part. Just because if you put $20 in the first time and you get 3 calls and you get 1 appointment, now you need to put another $20 in and say, did I get 3 calls and 1 appointment? The goal, using data, is to be able to fine-tune what you spend the $20 on so that you can get more than 3 calls. And you want to get better at your sales pitch so that you can get more than 1 appointment. That is the growth piece. Let's not digress into marketing strategy. Sticking on the overarching business strategy, by creating a path that if using those numbers, say over the period of 4 months, that each time you put $20 into Google Ads, you get 3 calls and 1 booking. Those are your numbers. This is, you have tested, this is, you can do consistently. You're repeating. So now you know that every time you put in $20, you get 1 booking. Now, if you want to create more bookings, you put in more dollars. So now you want 5 bookings, you put in $100. This is where you start to create predictable revenue. Now you've decided you want to hit these goals. You've worked backwards. You know that you need X number of marketing dollars, Google Ads dollars, to create this many appointments which will help you hit this target, which will drive to your success, to your gold at the end of the rainbow. And I know that that seems very simple when I explain it that way. And there is so many ways to accomplish that. And we can't, digress into so many ways in it just a short, discussion today. But these are the things that you need to keep in mind as you're building your strategy, as you're wondering, what do I plan? What is my goal here? How much money should I be making? How much time should I be investing? All of these questions come up as you're growing your business. And so the goal realistically needs to be defining success, ensuring that you're providing that amazing customer experience. Without it, nothing else matters. Because a good marketing campaign does not solve a bad experience. A good experience can outlive a bad marketing campaign. You must have the good experience. Then you must create the business side of it. If you want to turn your service, your amazing experience, into a growing, sustainable, profitable business, you have to take it. You have to take that experience, you have to take that service, and you have to turn it into something that you can do over and over again in a predictable fashion so that you can grow your business. It's taking really, and why this really is the epitome of why I love what I do, because it is taking, all of the resources, all, deciding what can we utilize and how can we turn it into the success, the magic that you want. And, it's been so many businesses and so many industries, and the reason, people say, well, what kind of service-based businesses do you specialize in? I say service-based businesses because realistically, at the end of the day, when I said the service doesn't matter, if you're providing an amazing experience, no matter what service you're providing, the actual what that experience is, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. So while we talk about one thing today, we can have a very similar conversation about any other service-based business, because it really comes back to, if it's not an amazing experience and you cannot repeat it over and over again, and you cannot create predictable, sustainable revenue, it doesn't work. Then we're going to combine all those things and we're going to say, this is where we want to be. Now, we need to work that backwards, and we need to say, what do we need to do every week between now and New Year's? And think how many weeks we have left, and then we're going to keep working backwards. So you've got 4 quarters, and within each of those quarters, you have 3 months. So we're going to take our end goal, what our success looks like, and we're going to work that backwards. We're going to say, what do I need to do? Where do I need to be at the end of September? Where do I need to be in order to know you are going to get to the success at the end of December? You're creating a map of how to get to the success, and you're plotting the points, the spots where you must get to. This is really like a road trip to success. And at the end of September, where do you need to be? You need to drop a pin there. And then you need to say, this is where I need to be at the end of quarter 2. Where do you need to be at the end of June? June 30th, to kick off summer. Where do you need to be? Drop a pin there. Going back to March, where do you need to be? And when I say where do we need to be, we're not just talking about revenue. A lot of times people create goals for their business. They are very revenue or money based. I know a lot of people talk about goals being measurable. Subconsciously, people think measurable means numbers, and numbers means sales targets. I can tell you that a business is not built on sales targets. Sales targets are part of the equation, but they are definitely not all of the equation. Thinking back to the customer journey, it's almost a bit like dating. You cannot get a first date until someone knows you exist. You can't propose marriage, the sale, on the first date. If you said, I need to be married by December, by the middle of the year, you need to have at least met somebody. They need to be aware of your existence. And so that is when we must walk backwards to figure out the roadmap to your success. What do you need to have in place? How many bookings do you need to have? How much equipment do you need to service those bookings? What kind of process is your customer going through? All of these pieces you need to know. If you said, okay, I need 10 bookings in the month of June, do you have the systems, equipment, infrastructure to service those 10 bookings? If the answer to that is no, that's okay, but what is the timeline to make those things happen? Once you have drop pins all the way back, so you need to know where you need to be in order to reach your goal, then you need to take that and we're going to need to say, let's break that down by month. What do I need to do each month in order to reach the goal? You're almost creating a mini roadmap to the end of each quarter. So instead of worrying about where you're going to be in December, right now, you need to worry about where you need to be at the end of March. Once you know where you need to be, now we can plan on how we're going to get there. If you go through this process, you will create a journey, a roadmap, a plan that guarantees that you get to success. Now, every road trip has its struggles. Everybody has seen the car on the side of the road with the flat tire. We all know it could happen, but we hope it doesn't happen to us. As you go through the process, you want to be reflecting back at the end of each month and saying, yes, I am on target, or whoa, I got stuck. When you can say, yes, I did it, it's done, it's complete, it's the feeling of giving the check mark. That's a win. That feels good. It is the forward momentum that continues the positive momentum. It's the same reason why, if you've ever been working on a checklist and you remember you did an extra task that's not on the list and you add it to the list just so you can check it off, if you've ever done that, that is your way of saying, I want that check mark. I want the win. Being a business owner can be a long road to success. And creating those mini wins for yourself allows you to feel the win and gain the momentum. It's the ability to break it down, set the goals, accomplish the goals, and keep moving forward. It's the, hey, I did it. Hey, it's going well. And then, oh no, we got that flat tire, but we had a good streak there, so let's get back on it. When you're creating your plan, your non-negotiables, you need to be thinking and creating that amazing client experience. A service-based business is reliant on that experience. A good customer experience means a referral. A good customer experience means a great review. Everything comes from that amazing experience. Without it, your business will not survive. You're not going to be creating that sustainable, predictable, repeatable revenue having a great month. That's not a business. You must be able to figure out how to repeat it. Creating the roadmap ensures you get to where you call success. One of the amazing programs I offer through the agency is a year-long business mentorship program called Navigator. The group has a monthly group training sessions It also has one-on-one monthly strategy sessions and a private community for all of the entrepreneurs to get together. If you're interested in joining, we work through a lot of these strategy pieces and setting goals and having accountability. And then you have that mentorship piece to ask your questions. So if that interests you and you want to reach out, it's hello@Bottcher, BOTTCHER.io. And I really wish you the very best in 2022 in hitting those goals. You know you need to create the amazing experience. You know that you need to create that repeatable, sustainable, predictable revenue. Now, it just comes down to identifying what does success look like for you and working it backwards. You need to build the journey and the map to your success. Then it's just a matter of executing. Thank you.